When you're a new
How can anyone, whether they want to work in a language school or privately from their own laptop anywhere in the world, create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, even if they are just starting out or have no teaching experience or ability? Hi, my name is Lynette Kim, and here on the TESOL Talk podcast, I aim to answer that very question.
ESL teacher, a really important thing to do is to get extremely familiar with published ESL course books. Whether you're teaching in a language school, in Australia or America or wherever, or overseas in a foreign country, you'll be teaching course books, and schools have these, and you won't often get a choice in which one you're teaching. So it's good to get familiar with a range of ESL course books, because once you get familiar with the layouts, what's being taught, how to navigate, finding the teacher's book with the answers, and additional materials that come with the books, how to operate, the listening section of the book, and the additional workbooks that come with it, then you can use that and apply that to any course book that you end up teaching. It doesn't matter what title or what publisher is of the books. But it is also important to, when you're getting familiar with the books, is to have a bit of a look, because particularly if you're private tutoring or teaching your own students, then you get the option to choose. And there are some great books out there. So I just want to talk briefly about 3 that I have taught extensively. Now, one is Language to Go. And when I first started teaching Language to Go, I did struggle just a little bit, because it felt to me, this is my opinion, quite thin. So when you're looking at the content in the book, there are quite large pictures on the pages, and although it has all of the normal activities, vocabulary, speaking, grammar, reading, writing, all of these things in it, and vocabulary, all of the tasks are very quite widely spaced. The writing feels big. I don't know if it is or not, but it felt that way. So you're looking at the page and you think to yourself, wow, that's one whole page, and there's 4 activities on one particular page that I am looking at, and it just feels like they're very small activities. So vocabulary and speaking, there are 3 questions, and match up, there's only a box with, say, 10 or 12 words in it. And then when you're looking at activity 4, there's only 5 questions that you will, as a dialogue, that you will fill in the blanks for and then do as a dialogue. So quite small activities. And so for me, the challenge with this book, it was easy to navigate, easy to understand what to do as a teacher. So it didn't feel confusing. It didn't feel like there was just way too much information on the page, but it felt thin, and I was well aware that I was going to have to add into this book and supplement. Now, of course, all good ESL course book have a workbook for students, so there's additional activities, but even those with this particular series of Language to Go, even those workbook pages, the additional resource, felt thin too. So it was like 1 worksheet or 2 worksheets. So you're sort of thinking to yourself, I'm going to have to extend this quite a bit. So that's my take on Language to Go. Also, there's quite a few cartoony pictures in this book. I don't mind cartoony pictures, but they tend not to have enough information in the background to draw out. They're very focused on specific things when it's cartoony, so it doesn't help to have a deeper conversation about what's going on in a picture. The next book but before I go, the teacher's book is very easy to understand with this particular series, and so are the additional resources, but that still goes to the fact that there isn't a lot packed into a page. Now, the next book that I'm going to talk about is Face to Face, and this book is actually quite good to teach. I don't mind teaching face to face. It has some good articles in there, interesting information. interesting modules, a lot more happening on the page with this particular book. So you're looking at this, and on one page, I'm seeing 2 activities, but they're quite substantial. So the vocabulary activity has 10 questions in it. And then it's got a B part where you extend those 10 questions. And then reading and grammar, there's A, B, C, D, but then that extends out into the article. So you're looking through. So the article 2 has a lot more information in it. Then, and I'm comparing the same level of book. And then we're looking at other tasks on the other page. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tasks on the next side, but they're quite meaty. There's quite a lot of information with them. So you have more there in tasks. There's actually up to 6 questions and things like this. So you've got more to work with because you don't want to burn through material. In a morning's teaching of 3 hours in an ESL class, you will go through at least 2 pages of a course book or more. So, you really don't want to be burning material, and it's possible to go through 3 to 4 pages sometimes. But again, a unit usually has up to 6 pages, and it's supposed to spread over a week. So you can imagine you really are extending quite a bit. So this book is good. Pictures, not bad. I don't think that this particular series, Face to Face, has the best pictures and the best look. It's not as clean and fresh as the next book that I'm going to talk about, which is New Cutting Edge. Now, New Cutting Edge is a book that I've taught extensively with every level many times over. So I'm very familiar with this particular book, and it is very clean and laid out and modern looking. Pictures, lots of pictures that are photographs. So there's so much in the photograph that you can work with and extend. And the tasks are quite good because they have lots of questions in it. So we're looking at intermediate level with these books, and the practice section has 14 questions in it, and then another section has 8. So you can see that they're beefed up. They're giving you more to work with. They're not rushing you through and making you as a teacher have to keep extending and adding something. You've got enough to fill the time adequately. So, and you can extend from this. This particular book has lots of big reading, again, things that you can draw out. And reading doesn't mean that students sit and read on their own. You can have them read aloud, sentence by sentence around the class. You can have a discussion about each section of students read a small paragraph each. You can discuss it after each one and then go on to the next one, ensure understanding. So don't worry about books where you see text for reading and think, this is all going to be students on their own reading. That doesn't at all need to be the case. So the layout for this book is very clean and very clear. In some instances, it is quite busy, so there is quite a lot happening, but it's still laid out in such a way that it's not confusing and it's not cramming too much on the page. I would say Face to Face crams a lot more on the page than New Cutting Edge. And then, as I said before, with Language to Go, the pages feel quite sparse and lots of space around each task, and the tasks are smaller. So, you know that you're going to have to add more of your own adaptation to spread that learning out for the timing of the lesson. So just a quick take on 3 of the books, but what I'm recommending, and we will do some PD sessions, full sessions with trainers on this in our professional development section, but go to somewhere like Scribd, which is scribd.com. And if you subscribe to Scribd, you're able to go in and view books, and you can type in all of these ESL course books and more. Just type in ESL course books and have a look. You'll see Language to Go, New Cutting Edge, Face to Face, Headway, lots and lots of books. Have a look. Now, remember, there's the student book, there's the teacher's book, There's the additional workbook, and there sometimes is also an additional vocabulary or a little mini dictionary book that comes with, I know New Cutting Edge has that one. So go and have a look at these resources because you can view right through them. When you go onto Scribed, you're able to actually get a look and just scroll through pages of these books and get a really good look. And you can compare the teacher's book and the student's book. You need to get familiar with these because you don't know where you're going to teach. Sometimes you don't know what book that particular school has that they're using. But if you get very familiar with a range of ESL course books, you will come across ones that you know. You'll be like, yep, I know that book. I know how the resources work. I know how the teacher's book works. So now I can go on and I can confidently teach and extend that book. And even if you come across a book that you haven't taught before, you've already gotten familiar with a range of books. So you know the go. You'll see a course book and you'll open it up and you go, yep, there's the vocabulary activity, there's the speaking, there's the dialogues, there's the reading text, and you'll understand immediately what's going on, and you'll be familiar with the question types that you're going to use, the dialogues, the match-up, all those types of activities that come within all of these ESL course books. They don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel works very well, so they just use them in different ways, but it's very obvious what the tasks are. So spend that time, go on to Scribed or have a look where, in bookstores, if you want teacher resource books, you can even Google them online. You can actually even go to some of the websites like Pearson's and they allow you to download samples of pages of some of these books to have a look at. But, I think Scribe is best value for money in this case.